So what's up guys, today we have a video for you by Coding Sloth. He's a pretty popular YouTuber. I'm just gonna see his video. So it's called Things I Absolutely Hate About Programming. You and me both, my brother.
Today, we're talking about things I hate about programming. Yeah, look, I'll be honest with you. I don't have too much experience programming. I'm still a newborn child in this field, but I've still experienced some problems, okay? I'm hoping these problems will go away with more experience, but based off tweets and videos from more experienced developers,
and you can't create the button because Bill is on
it sounds like these problems are gonna get a lot worse. So,
One, documentation.
Yes, they do get worse. It doesn't get better, so... I don't know why, like everybody has that experience where you think the more far you get into your career that things get easier, but for the most part just realizing that the more advanced you get, of course the more problems you have to solve and the more advanced problems you have to solve at the end of the day. So you find yourself in this situation where by the time you get there, the complexity that you have is a lot more than what you expected, and then it gets even worse and worse and worse. But like for some reason, I think it's just human nature. For some reason, we all think like by the time you get somewhere, it's just going to be easier. But no, the word says differently.
the thing developers both love and hate. Documentation is kind of like how I feel about caffeine. I hate it, but I need it to function. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about useful documentation that does what it's supposed to do. You know, make...
I love documentation. Some of it is useful. But let's hear him out.
Making my life easier and making me feel like an absolute genius because they know how dumb and incompetent I am and writes everything down.
That's true.
Step by step. No. I love that type of documentation. Here's some documentations I like.
OCaml mentioned. Let's go.
Rust, Stripe, Vue.
Yeah. OCaml has some really nice docs, and then Rust, same thing. Rust has plenty of documentation for anyone to just go and then just go through it, and then if you want to learn by yourself, or even if you have like you're taking a Rust class, you'll be able to find yourself, which is very good.
And there's a lot more. If you're an engineer or an open source contributor that helps with documentation, I just want you to know I love you. All developers love you. We don't appreciate you enough. Without all of you, technology would never be this advanced. We'd still be eating rocks. Now, in despair. Documentations that are outdated, that leave you with more questions than answers, or documentations where it's just
Okay, so he framed it wrong. So he actually also loves documentation. I think you can't name a developer who wouldn't like documentation, because if you don't like documentation, I don't think you would thrive in this environment. I'm sorry, because most of what we do is actually just reading documentation and then using the information we gather from those documentation to build solutions. So at the end of the day, you have to go through it. It's a must at the end of the day. So he should have framed it as bad documentation, because he just said documentation. So I was kind of curious, but that's how they get you. That's how they get you.
the code itself with comments. I understand that reading documentation is a skill that you have to develop. Documentation back then used to be a lot worse.
Yeah. I can see inside DirectX. Java tutorial 3rd edition. I found this book at the thrift shop. This one, the Java tutorial 3rd edition, and it's so convoluted. There's so many information, you can't expect it. So I'm just glad that look at the Visual C1. Can you guys see it? Look how thick this thing is. This one is also thick. I think they're all comparable sizes, but like you can't imagine how much information there is in there, and most of it is just, some of it I think it's not even necessary, because it's like kind of a hand holding and then some examples and things like that, which I'm glad somebody invented the PDF format and then like online documentation where you can just read it off of the website and then know you will have it anywhere you have a connection. Because imagine like carrying this thing around. Oh God, I'm glad.
First, I can't imagine what that used to be like. But that's like saying we upgraded from getting stabbed to getting punched. Technically it's better, but we can still do better. Here, let me give you an example.
Punch me anytime. I would rather get punched anytime than getting stabbed.
Example of a documentation that gives me the pain and the agony. Google.
Number 1.1, Google's terrible doc.
True. Google's docs, they're just so convoluted. There's just so many things going on, so many information, and it's also like fragmented. So you would think where you expect things to be is nowhere they're going to be. I'll just say that about it. Confusing.
Implementation.
Yes, Google. You know, the tech company that's worth over $2 trillion and has thousands of developers that get paid high salaries, the one with fun company perks, the ones that rejected my resume. Take a look at this documentation for their
Getting real salty.
Gmail API. Let's check out the quick start. Enable the API. Seems reasonable. Configure OAuth consent. Okay. Authorize credentials for the app. All right. Create an API key. We're getting somewhere, I think. Set up the sample. Okay, what's the sample? What is this? Where's the syntax highlighting? Why do others have it and others don't? Oh, it's an edge case because this is HTML. No, shut up. Their interview process literally tests you on problems where you have to handle edge cases. I don't want to hear any complaints. Look, I know this.
He's kind of salty. He didn't get into Google. I understand. Who wouldn't want to get into Google? Now that they're firing people. Anyway. I do agree, like the Google documentation, it's terrible. Sometimes, depending on what you want to do, if it's something of like the general surface level documentation that anybody could implement, it's okay. But like once you start getting into like on the deeper layer, it's not adequate. So
this isn't a big deal. I mean, some people used to program in Notepad. Actually, I think some people still do. But remember, this is Google we're talking about. Now, here's the interesting part. Most of the code here is to sign in and sign out with Google, which makes sense, to be fair. But this is the actual code that uses Gmail. You know, the whole reason I'm here. Why didn't they do this in steps and then give me the entire sample code? You know, step 1, enable sign in and sign out. Step 2, Gmail. And
exactly, like these platforms, like they don't want, they try to tailor their documentation, especially Google. The documentation is tailored towards like people who don't need to go into like the nitty gritty of what the service is doing for the most part. So they kind of surface level, so it's kind of like copy paste. If I'm just like I don't know anything about this, like the sign-in they're trying to implement, but like if I'm someone who wants to implement like a sign-in using like a Gmail or whatever, I just take the code and then paste it somewhere, and then magically it just works. That's what they expect. But once you start wanting like to break down the code and then do more with it, or maybe customize things, that's where you're gonna start finding problems in those documentation, because they don't. Not only the information is not there, they pretend it doesn't exist. It's not in the realm of possibilities of what you can do with the service, which is kind of bad in my opinion.
And then at the end, the entire code that they have here. I feel like that makes a lot more sense. Whatever, I'm probably just stupid. It's fine.
Number 2, debugging.
Let's talk about debugging. Or as I like to call it, console.log driven development. Oh wait, some of you don't use JavaScript. More like print driven development. Oh wait, you don't use Python either. More like cout driven development. I hate bugs, actual bugs and software bugs, because it's literal proof that you can't code and you did something wrong. And debugging is the process of you fixing your terrible code. It's not fun. Debugging always starts slow. I don't know about most of you, but whenever I code with Python or JavaScript, I always just log everything out to debug. I don't really do breakpoints or anything.
Yeah, same here. Like I've been coding for how many years? I have 5 years now worth of coding, like at least professionally. Especially for like JavaScript, console log is okay. I know like some people, there's a debate. Some people like think console log is the end of the world. If you still use that you are a noob, whatever. It still works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It still works, and in so many cases it's fast, it's quick, it's okay. And then in some cases, especially when you are working on some algorithms and some tough some complex solution, so like a complex function, then using a debugger it might be required using a debugger, or it might be like a better experience using a debugger. But like most JavaScript, TypeScript devs, like a console log is okay. Is okay.
Like that, unless it's something really crazy, or if it's a language like C++ where you have to compile and build the app, or if you really hate yourself, assembly. But for Python or JavaScript or really any small program, I just put a log wherever I think it's broken. And if that log didn't do anything, then I would just spam them everywhere. And it works, all right? I know it's not just me who does this. You probably do it too. Don't look at me like that. We both can't code, but sometimes there's errors you don't expect. And when that happens, you'd think your programming language would come to save you and give you some helpful error message. I mean, you'll get an error message, but you're gonna get blessed by something like this. Yeah, what am I supposed to do?
Number 3, bug reports.
If you ever make your project public and you have people using your bad code, then you'll probably have the pleasure of dealing with bug reports. Whoa, website's broken. That's the entire report.
Not fun, not fun, not fun. Especially if it's open source and then everybody's just using it and nobody's paying you, but people act like they're paying you.
You ask them, what's broken? The thing. Which thing? You know, the thing that does stuff? Oh, yeah.
And that's why you need to put in like a crystal clear guidelines as to what you will accept as in people creating issues and what you will respond to it. Okay, maybe I'm not sure if like GitHub has some filtering mechanism, like automatic filtering. I wish there was something like that, to where maybe there is, maybe there is, to where you can just filter those like issues before they even get created, before they even get posted. Anyway.
Yeah, the thing that does stuff, that narrows it down to absolutely nothing. You know, it's like going to the doctor and telling them, I don't feel good, but you don't feel. And it would record not only the error, but also the console logs, the network requests, every step the user did, all the technical details, everything. And if you didn't know how to explain it, then AI would help you write a useful bug report so developers can actually understand it and fix it. Well, guess what? You don't have to imagine it anymore. With Jam, the sponsor of today's video.
Oh, you sneaky.
If you've ever wasted hours trying to understand bug, record a video, or capture with your team, but Jam doesn't just pull off in issue, just Jam will use how to do so. Let's see how I can send emails with JavaScript. Wait a minute, there's no examples for JavaScript.
This is what I was talking about. So Google just expects you to just copy paste. If you're not a copy pasta kind of person, or you have something specific you want to do, their documentation is just forget about it.
Well, many programming languages have libraries. Why don't you share it? You know they exist. Where's the resources? Oh, my mistake, Google. Is client library API. I wonder when this video was made. The new 10 years ago.
Just direct you to a 10 years old video to find the information you need 10 years later. Welcome to the party.
Oh, what? You know, I would understand if it was a smaller company. Actually, smaller companies do have better documentation than the...
Yes, that's true. Smaller companies have better documentation than Google. That's true. I'll get behind that.
Lobotomized trash. So what's going on over there at Google?
And the UI looks better. The Google UI, not very friendly. At least you can do the UI, Google. At least you can do the UI.
And surprisingly, I know it's not just me who's having this problem. There's tons of people who complain about Google's documentation. It's so bad that people need to create packages to prevent people from suffering and reading that piece of garbage.
Number 4, inconsistent naming.
All right, look, let me tell you this.
I know what he's gonna say. Let's continue.
Didn't even know this was a problem until I started using different programming languages, but mainly when I started reading other people's code.
What's the matter with languages? Just come on. Even in some cases, like working C# or like Java, I've seen that in Java too. Like C# especially, like there's so many conventions to follow, especially with the way you name your variables. And it's something that happens for every team. And it's something like kind of, I don't know when it happened, but like at some point, like it's as if people just got together and were like, this is the way to go and this is the only way. Not that it can't be done, but like they make it important. And sometimes I do understand, because take a language like C#, where like the built-in the built-in, how you call it, the built-in names that are off limits you can't use. Sometimes they start with a capital letter, so they're like a Pascal cased, and you kind of, they're case sensitive, like whatever it is case sensitive, and then it's Pascal case on some things, on other things it's not, and then it's kind of confusing. And then you add on top of that the fact that most teams, I don't know how it happened, it's like the collective, like unconsciousness, subconsciousness, if that makes sense, that decided we're gonna go with this, no matter how unnatural it feels. And then if you join a team like that, you have to follow it.
Realize how inconsistent naming is.
Sometimes.
Let's start with file names. I mean, how hard can it be to name a file? Here, take a look at this. You see the difference in each of these, right? Apparently one of these is right. I don't know which is right. Leave a comment on what you think is right. And it's not.
Which one is right? Let's do this one. Which one is right? I leave the question, the answer to you. To me, it's all. To me, a good name should be a way to kind of. It should be different. It should reduce confusion. It should also make it different. It should be different enough, reduce confusion, and also a third thing. I think those two are even sufficient to me. So anything that just reduces confusion, and I don't like to see like underscores. I prefer underscores to like dashes in a file name. But if we have to have any of them, I would prefer an underscore more than a dash, a hyphen, fake file. I would prefer like the last one. I would prefer the last one, but like the others two are fine, except maybe like the one with the dash. But last one, I think.
Not just file names either. This also applies for variable names. And this wouldn't be such a problem. But every programming language has its own naming preferences. Why wouldn't they? Let me search up the naming conventions in coding. FreeCodeCamp? Okay, I know it's a good source. Let's take a look at this. There's 4 of them. Camel case, snake case, kebab case, and Pascal case. Look at this. FreeCodeCamp actually talks about this. It's not just me. Now, based on the language you're working on and what you're naming, the preferred case type can change. Wow. I just don't understand how something so simple like naming could be so hard. Then again, we just love to overcomplicate things. I don't know if there's lore behind these naming conventions. I don't know it. If you know it, please leave it in the comments, because I'm not gonna.
Yeah, Python and the snake case goes hand in hand.
Search that up myself. I would not be surprised if there isn't any lore behind this, and it's just opinion. I mean, there's a whole debate between tabs and spaces. Actually, that one I do understand. I'm more of a tab person. If you prefer using spaces, you need to go to the mental asylum. I don't know what to tell you.
Number 5, Vim.
I just hate Vim.
Tabs and spaces.
Number 6, C++.
I don't like C++.
Even the number of spaces matter to the space people. The number of spaces matter. The 2 spaces. I've seen like 2, 3, and 4. I don't know if
Number 6.
sadomasochist will use 8. No, that it would. It will look weird.
7, the Coding Sloth.
Wait, what? I sure hate this Coding Sloth guy. He just makes YouTube videos on stupid
Stop self.
stuff. I bet he can't even code. And then not only do I hate the Coding Sloth, I also hate his good, but I just hate it because
Programmers.
I don't even like myself. Why would I like other programmers?
Number 1.3, I have problems with Google.
Here's a funny thing. The quality of Google's documentation depends on what you're using. Let's take a look at their app.
There you have it. I can't say I agree with all of those, but yeah, a good documentation. It's mostly based around documentation. Honestly, now that we finished watching the video, like most of it is just about documentation. So, does Google have bad documentation? Yes, they do. Do you have to necessarily work with Google? No, you don't have to. So if you don't like it, go somewhere else. Simple. As you know, like if you haven't learned this about me by now, I like to simplify things. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, find something else. Yeah, same case for me. Like the naming conventions don't bother me that much as long as it's something established and everybody's following the same thing in a team. I'm happy to oblige because it's an opinion, but I think it's best for everybody to follow the same thing. So for the sake of the consistency and avoiding the pain later on, I would rather we all keep the same formatting going on, same everything, so that everybody's happy. I don't have any opinions about that, camel case, whatever. It's okay, it's all natural to me. I can adapt, but I can feel his pain point as if he doesn't like to adapt his coding style to whatever environment he's in. But that's what we have to do. That's what I have to do anyway. No complaints. So, do you agree with all of his points, even if it got hectic at the end? Do you agree with them? Do you have more? Do you think they're stupid? It's okay to think how you think. It's opinions at the end of the day. So let me know below in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, to like the video, and support the channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a blessed one.